Right there, first off, this is a redo. I uploaded an unboxing for Dark Elements, but it flickered like hell, and so I'm go. If you're seeing this, then I've deleted the original to put this on because I found the issue and it was an editing software issue which had worked fine for a long time and suddenly developed issues with the flickering. So here we go. Dark Elements, the third fully cooperative expansion. The first two were released as game night kits. We played this now quite a few times, haven't we? 4 or 5 times. It's hard as nails and absolutely brilliant. Followed some great advice on the internet from Board Game Geek. I can't remember his name now, but one of the guys in particular gave us some real good pointers. You've really got to pick your party and get the right party together. You need your healer. You want sneaky to open doors free. You've really got to use a band of heroes that work well banded together, because you want one hero carrying the torch and it only lights up 2 spaces if you're lucky, because there's stuff that can alter that. But so you really do want to band together, and there is heroes in there that work really well banded together, as we've now found out, because we kept getting slaughtered and making maybe the first. There's 3 main rooms in it. You start the encounter with the star card, which I'll show you now. So here's what we get in the kit. You start the encounter with the star card. Let's open these. There, last breath. As you do with the other kits, there's a star. It's absolutely fantastically. Hats off to Fantasy Flight. For such a small amount of components, they have turned Descent on its head. It works brilliantly. So you start off with your last breath, and then you seed this deck, and your first few cards are shuffled in. You don't know where. These would be done that way round. And room 1 could be the first card encounter, but it's in this case it would in Passage of the Future. Then square 1, and there's a large encounter for you to do, and you've got 3 turns to do it in. This one's timed, you've got 3 turns. This one, there's no time on it. And you have your hero's turn, your overlord turn as usual. And then, shuffled into this lot of cards, would be Nightmare Gate number 2. And who knows which order it's going to come up in. And we've got to Nightmare Gate, and I think it was at the bottom of this pile, wasn't it, when we got to it? And we kind of, that's as far as we got. We got to the Nightmare Gate, and a Peril card, which is one of these cards here, seen us off. But we got this lot to go through, and it's a true dungeon crawl. We were how many players was we at one point? 4 players we played it, and it actually lasted about 4 hours all told, we reckon, with a little bit of rules explanation at the beginning. And what a time we had! It is. We never played Descent First Edition, and from what I've read, this is getting more towards Descent First Edition, as in it was felt like a proper dungeon crawl. I mean, you start off with a little small map and it just evolves and evolves and evolves and evolves, and you really are searching, and the way things can be thrown up at you, and each card, one of these is a mini little quest in itself. Very clever, absolutely awesome the way it's done. We played Nature's Ire game night kit, fully co-op, and that is good. So far, we've not completed that one either. But personally, I love the idea of this one with the darkness, and that you've got to keep within the 2 spaces of the torch, really, because otherwise Peril cards, they will hurt you if you're not in the darkness, and also as will monster activation cards. These are monster activation cards. So in this Dark Elements, it requires the first small box expansion, the Lair of the Worm. Yeah, it is the Lair of the Worm to play, and it uses most of the tiles, if not all of the tiles, out of Lair of the Worm, or most of them actually, and also fire imps. So the monsters in this, there's 4 sets of monsters. It uses fire imps, elementals. Well, they're cool, aren't they? The elementals. The myriads, which they got the hands, we call them the happy slappers. and the hybrid sentinels as well. I think they're from Lair of the Worm as well, aren't they? And we were just about engaging the hybrid sentinels, wasn't we, on our last play, but we didn't get to them. They were in a behind a sealed door, but we got to the others so far. And fire plays a really big part in this game. Often your characters will be on fire, and you're eating away at you and getting a wound each turn, because turns are so important. It's hard to waste an action getting rid of your fire, unfortunately. So healers in the party, very much needed. This is the Peril Deck, and it's if there's no monsters on the board, then when it's got a line, it's the bottom part, isn't it, Donna? You deal with this bit.
Yeah.
It's the bottom part, isn't it? I think it is. If there's no monsters there, if there's monsters on the board, it's the top part, and the cards without the line, it's the whole lot. It's very simple to play these kits, but hard to beat them. But I now know that we can definitely do it. You know, I think we really thought we were going to do it last time. So these are the great room cards, the adventure cards that will pop up, and this is your activation cards for your monsters. And you pull one of them out each turn if there's monsters on the board. And then you've got the Doom track, and the key is really stopping Fate and Doom hitting the same circle wherever it may be on here. And that's hard. And two-player game, you would start here. We've not played two-player, but we've played three-player and four-player. And four players you've only got that much. You can push Fate back, and you can keep pushing Fate back by completing encounters mainly, but Doom does never go back, and that's the hard thing. So you've really got to stop Doom coming forward. If a hero gets knocked down, Doom comes forward, so really you must stop your heroes getting knocked down. This bit's cool here. You put a heart on here, and every time you kill a monster that takes one space, a heart goes up one, if it's a cream one. If it's a red one, then a fatigue token will move up here, and this gives you more cards to look at the shop item deck. Here, if you kill a monster that covers 4 spaces, it immediately goes up to number 4. And in a free player game, for instance, you only have to ding the bell at number 5. So it's depending. You've got 4, 3, and 2 players here. If you ding the bell, when it comes up to wherever your player count is, you get to look at the shop item deck, and if your fatigue tokens here, it's 1 card, here 2 cards, here 3 cards, here 4 cards, and so on. And like I say, if you kill a red monster, master monster, then each time you kill a master, you keep putting this fatigue token up. And of course, the more cards you get to search through, you can really get some colossal, fantastic weapons, can't you? We've got some brilliant weapons and stuff out. Searching, killing monsters in the rooms, and getting the search tokens is very handy in this one, because often there's them cheap 25. You don't have to pay for them, but obviously, or cash them in. It has no difference in this game. But getting those cheap potions to chuck down your neck to heal somebody completely is a massive bonus, because you're stopping Doom changing. The rulebook's here. Apart from a few changes, these are the same for all. It shows you a diagram with the actual setup for this game, but really all this bit is generic to all the fully co-op kits. Apart from it changes a few of the pictures on the cards, but it's identical. The rules are more or less identical. Nature's Eye, you've got what's his name? The guy that you have to. There's a villager anyway that you've got to. He's not a villager. But you use a village token that you've got to keep in your party. Deza, that's it, Desmond. So here, and there's your encounter guide. So you pull out a card. So right, we're on Breath of Stone. So we look for Breath of Stone. Where is it? Here it is. And we would set up that part of the map, and we would read this out, and then we would read this bit here, and we got 3 turns to do it and to complete it before Doom would no doubt advance Doom, yeah, and then discard this card. Real cool one. Was it Passage of the Past, Donna?
Yeah.
Yeah, Passage of the Past, hilarious, because as you're coming on here, you have to test one of your traits, and for every time you fail, you have to go within adjacent to the furthest hero away. And so you're almost touching, and you keep getting pushed back till you actually make it. You need 2 people on the pad near the door for the door to disappear. It is mint, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's brilliant. So that is, we're loving that. I mean, I give this certainly the Dark Elements. I say we've played it I think 5 times now, and I give it about a 9.5 out of 10. It really is that good. I definitely buy it. It's a nice cheap little expansion, and it turns Descent on its head. That is Dark Elements. Thanks for watching. Okay, we've just finished our 4th game of the of this print on demand kit, and we got beat, but we did a lot better than our previous 3 games. This is over the last 3 or 4 days we've been playing it. We actually got to the level 2 card. Our last encounter was the Nightmare Gate. That's it. So it was level 2. We had 4 turns to do it within, and we failed because a Peril card basically made Fate come down, and it hit our Doom. Doom progressively goes up, and but this is only part of the map. We had to dismantle some of the map, quite a large section, probably that much. And this really is, I see what some people have said, that this is a real proper dungeon crawl, and it is. This is the epitome of what a dungeon crawl is. You know, behind doors is, who knows what's behind the door. After you've played it a few times, you get to know the cards, but you don't know within 3 or 4 cards, or even 5, what is behind that door. And it's pretty good. And it gets better, actually, the more you play it, because like in a hard video game, I suppose, you get to know how to deal with the different sections. And we're getting further and further. Very unique stuff in here as well, and on how the map's going to progress. And we got like pits where monsters, the action of the card will draw you towards the pit to try and kill you. In this one here, there was blue tokens across as a pit, and I actually got pulled towards a monster and died in a pit on one go, not this turn. And here, this is where it all went wrong for us. Right up here, there was a locked door here, which we nearly unlocked. I'm just starting to actually pack up, but all this stuff. But there was a locked door here, and we knew that the green token was here, and that got reflipped until we opened, flipped all the tokens, and we were nearly engaging these hybrid sentinels, and we had to beat them to beat this part of the encounter. But unfortunately, fate intervened, as it does in this, and sorted us out. But it was very enjoyable, and after this time now, we know we can beat this. The first 3 times we never got up to encounter 2. We just about got past square 1, which is encounter 1, and now we